The Big Allied and Dangerous, or BAAD data set, is a collection of information about terrorist organizations that's global in scope, and it includes information on the nature of the organizations, the acts that they've carried out, and also the relationships that they have with other terrorist organizations around the world. This is the second version of our data set. The first version, which we completed about 7 or 8 years ago, had 395 organizations, and it contained one snapshot of those organizations at the period 1998 to 2005. The new data set is substantially larger. It covers close to 600 organizations when it's completed. It covers the time period from 1998 to 2012 for right now, and will soon include the years 2013 and 14. Has a broader array of information about the nature of the organization and more information about how they relate to one another, both in a positive sense, in the sense that they ally with one another, but also about rivalry and outright conflict between organizations. This project has been a project within the National Consortium for the Study of Terrorism and Responses to Terrorism, or START, which is headquartered at the University of Maryland. It's a center of excellence that's been funded by the Department of Homeland Security now for over 10 years. And Victor Asal, my partner in this research project, and I have been principal investigators as part of that project from the very earliest days of the consortium. They're an important funder then of all of the work that's gone into both BAAD version 1 and BAAD version 2. However, we've also been funded by the Defense Threat Reduction Agency and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agencies, or DARPA, both in the Department of Defense, from the National Science Foundation, the University at Albany's Research Incentive Fund within the Rockefeller College, and also the Faculty Research Awards Program. So there's an array of funding sources that have helped to allow us to build this data set from scratch.
What this data set can do is we can use it analytically to look at why organizations behave the way they do, why some are so much more lethal than others, why some use certain kind of tactics, not other kind of tactics, why some provide social services and why some don't provide social services, why some are involved in crime and why some are not. So it really opens up a wide range of things we can look at and analyze using quantitative statistical data to get at these questions that a lot of times in the past have really been looked at only qualitatively.
This data set is constructed by having students, both undergraduates and graduates, go onto the web, go to LexisNexis, go to important newspapers and websites around the world and collect information about what terrorist organizations do, how they consider themselves in terms of ideology, how are they funded, how are they structured. So students are an integral part of it because they're the ones that are reading the textual information about each of the organizations, converting that into numeric representations that then go into an extensive editing process. So without the students, there's no Big Allied and Dangerous data set. But they're also part of the analytic team. Over the years, with both version 1 and now version 2 of this data set, students have been part of the team that identify interesting questions. We've published papers with undergraduate and graduate students, and some of those students have gone on to do very important things. A number have gone on to work for federal agencies, federal intelligence agencies, for the state of New York in intelligence analysis positions, or into further study at the graduate level to further our understanding of terrorist organizations and terrorist networks. So we're in the very earliest stages of studying the new BAAD 2 data. We've published over 10 papers with the BAAD 1 data already, and some of our students have also published additional work. But from the BAAD 2 data, one of the first things that we've noticed is the importance not simply of positive alliance relationships between terrorist organizations, but also the deep importance of relationships of rivalry or enmity or outright conflict. For many years, there's been a theory of outbidding in the study of terrorism, which suggests that organizations that face competition from other terrorist entities become more violent. And we actually see that to be true across many areas that we study. We see it to be true with respect to lethality. Organizations that face competition tend to kill more people. Organizations that face competition also seem to be more likely to pursue weapons of mass destruction. We expect that we're going to learn more about the sorts of acts that these competitive organizations engage in, but we also know that it's still true, as we found in our earlier BAAD 1 work, that alliances matter, that the size of organizations matter, and the nature of the ideologies that these organizations profess also matters with respect to predicting what they're likely to do in the future.
I think that our data set, and certainly BAAD 2, provides an overview of organizations, violent non-state organizations of very different types, in a way that has not yet been provided to the public, to academia, and to policymakers. And the ability to use that data, I think, should be a great public good, a policy good, and an academic good. And I'm looking forward to people using it in that way.